Welcome. This episode will be coming out on a Thursday instead of a Friday. Wheezy, we love ya. Ohio, you owe her. Springfield, you owe me. The world, how are you doing? With my own illness of 2023, the mental health crisis that sits in parallel with the Great Miami Valley Disgrace. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about life. I'm here to talk about when we are happy, healthy, and whole, truly, deeply within, we're just alive. We're just literally and figuratively ourselves and us. Literally and figuratively the species, humanity, the public, the world, whatever terms we want to put on it. That's us. It's me, it's you, it's me. It's them. It's us. We are them. They are us. Doesn't matter where you live. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Doesn't matter what your religions are or if you're religious at all. Doesn't matter who you vote for, if you vote at all. Doesn't matter who you love. It matters that you love. Doesn't matter what your sexuality is. Doesn't matter what your I guess I've already said enough with that. It's pretty obvious what I'm talking about. It's irrelevant in terms of our opinions. It's important that we have life. We all have opinions, and they don't really do anything. If they did, then we wouldn't have to go out into the street and protest. We would sit at home and change the world. We would sit at home or sit in the woods or sit on a front porch somewhere. Perhaps in a rocking chair, looking out into the world around us as we know it, and savoring every moment that we have while we are alive. In the interval between whatever we came from and when we go back to the earth. When we go back to the dirt, to the dust. And we allow the flora and fauna to feed upon. Well, we don't allow it, it's just what happens. The flora and fauna feed upon what is left of us. I highly recommend donating oneself to science. Highly recommend organ tissue donation. We never know when those accidents will happen. We never know when that next great discovery will happen. And it could be your name attached. And do you get to experience that? Sadly enough, no. Do your kids get to realize, hey, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, my great grandma, my great grandpa, my great great grandma, great great grandpa. They're the reason that we figured out whatever it may be. Popcorn lung, cancer, dementia, depression, PTSD. Well, wait a minute, we've already figured out what these things are and how they can be treated and how the people who suffer from them can actually overcome them. A lot of folks in our world will kind of embrace them because they believe it's just who they are, and they believe that who they are is this insulated, super tough man or woman, when in all reality, they are not insulated at all. They have excluded themselves from the world around them by building walls that trap them within those walls, because the walls are all in their minds. The walls that we put up, the beliefs, the understandings of our place in the world, what we believe about our communities, about our states, country, world, whatever. When we are down in the weeds, lying with the dogs in the field, you do come back up with fleas. You do come back up maybe with parvo or rabies or poison ivy, who knows? Whatever's there in those weeds, whatever's in that field, whatever the dog that you lied down with may have, be that fleas or anything else. Animals, like people, we're all basically products of our environment, products of our circumstances. Now, do people have to keep that? No. Do animals? Probably. But do animals truly keep it when they are being treated well? Or do they actually, in some cases, resume their normal, sweet demeanor, as is the case with Stillacat, named after the incomparable Lzzy Hale? We don't have to stay depressed. We don't have to stay underneath the weight of that gorilla. We don't have to satisfy the rumor mill or satisfy the opinions of any others, and certainly not the opinions of others who don't love us, don't care about us, don't understand us, don't like us, aren't friends with us, don't care whatever way. I mean, if you have all that weight going on and you're reaching out to your friends, siblings, etc., your friends and your siblings, etc., support you. They stand with you, and they stay present every day through it, including until you're back from the dead, proverbially, and Lzzy Hale, Halestorm. Speaking of all of that, Back from the Dead, great song, great album. There's nothing that Lzzy Hale sings that isn't just incredible. And her voice can take your heart and just smash it. And you love every second of it. But that's the point. When we go through depression, PTSD, etc., we're supposed to actually overcome it. We're supposed to go through it. We're not supposed to tacitly accept it and call that our personality and call it strength. We're supposed to be humble, kind, remember who we wanted to be, remember who we claim we are, remember who we actually are, and remember that we are the problem and solution in this one human condition, life, that we all understand we are stuck with for a little while. When my situation unfolded the way that it did, that's what led to the major crisis. And then, of course, I was left to flail and figure it all out from that. And it's funny to me, the people that, could go, he's this, he's that. Okay, that's cute. Look in the mirror. Because unlike, we all know what Springfield, Ohio is like. I know it's crime rates and the crashes, and I'll never forget when Kenton Street had that motorcyclist smash into the truck. I've seen the video multiple times. The truck literally did his very best to stop and wait, and while I don't want anyone to tragically die, and I will not speak ill of the dead in any way, that case was handled the way that it was handled because it's what happened. The junkyard down the street on Abbey had the video of the full incident from start to finish. And that's just the incident itself. That's not an opinion, yay or nay about it. It's a tragic, sad, horrible situation. And then on top of that, the children in Clark County in Springfield, Ohio, who have been killed from crashes or parental ignorance. The dead baby calls in the last year and a half to 2 years of my career, and I don't know if that was just an uptick period or if it was the difference in midnight shift where it's good guys and bad guys, and day shift where you could get dead baby calls a little more frequently. I'm sure you do get dead baby calls on a day shift a little more frequently because that's when they're waking up and finding, of course, the extremely, extremely devastating and sad situation of a dead baby. And then, of course, we pop up to just the first day of school. A young man killed in a bus crash. And we all know how sad that is. And when we have a local community saying, oh, well, we're going to look into this, we're going to do this, except you still haven't. You still don't. Springfield, Ohio is its own little bubble. Springfield, Ohio is its own little dome. Maybe Clark County? No. Springfield, Ohio, from its leadership down to whoever, because we don't go up and down, we're people, we go side to side, we're all here on the level. And the way my situation was handled, the way other people's situations have been handled, is inexcusable. The way a handful of folks in the local community do promote themselves as strong and beyond whatever and at peace, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're at peace with the contentment of Springfield. You're at peace with the contentment of what you've been accustomed to and familiar with. But when your life gets completely torn asunder, when your life gets jacked up, screwed up, destroyed, I go back to Lizzie Hale, Hailstorm, here's to us. We put our dreams through the shredder. Let's toast. These things, let me paraphrase you here, Lizzie, things get better. Because not only do they improve just over time, because that's the natural state of human life and the human brain, but as life goes on, we build the lives that we want, and we build a better life for ourselves, just as Lizzie Hale has built a better life for herself. Her brother RJ. Their parents, phenomenal parents. So you get what you get with that, where you get strong next generation, and they go out and change the world. And as I've called my daughter Stoatine for the sake of this show and the entertainment, so to speak, I remind everyone that knew us, my family's illnesses and deaths and lives are not on social media or podcasts or anything else for the entertainment of a handful of people in the local area. Heather's journey through cancer and all sorts of other ailments, culminating in bronchiolitis obliterans, popcorn lung, on Memorial Day 2018, when our daughter was not even in double digits yet, and I was still badge 801. We had people claiming they respected us, loved us, supported us, etc. All the while, behind our backs, the reality is what we saw in 2023. But now, March 28, 2024, when this episode drops, Stoatine will be driving Springfield, and America will be aware that, yeah, it happened. He got through it. He's himself. We're all ourselves. We're all just a little bit older. 2 years ago right now, this show didn't exist. It launched September 25th, 2022. I had not yet actually fallen into the depression and PTSD that swallowed my 2023 whole. By that time, I was always going to do a podcast in retirement. It's my retirement that actually came unexpectedly and early. So I was supposed to do this podcast in 2033, but then I was supposed to be, enjoying a normal life, enjoying that happy, healthy, whole reality that, this life can bring when we do not resign ourselves to being the depression or PTSD or whatever it may be, when we don't handle the trauma and we let the trauma handle us. You either eat the trauma alive or the trauma eats you alive. And here's where my thing is. I'm a retired Springfield, Ohio police officer. I reached the level of mental clarity and satisfaction with who I am on January 12th, 2024, so I flipped the badge that I still do have right side up in my private office. Somewhere after that, I landed at truly, genuinely, complete, full inner peace. Not about the lucre, not about yesterday, not about tomorrow. The same thing I've always been. Live like you might die tonight, but plan like you probably won't. That respects the fact that there are no present or future, there are no, let's see, look, I'm getting tongue-tied, and that's okay, I leave it in. There is no past, nor a future. There is only the present and our thoughts about the past and the future. Plan for a happy, healthy, whole, long life. But live like you actually realize we have no clue how long we get. Because we don't have a clue how long we get. I could be dead before this episode actually posts. Some people will be. That's just how time works. May they rest in peace. This isn't about death. This isn't about the end. This is about life. This is about fresh start. This is about never giving up. This is about the idea of saying fresh start. That's what typical people do every year when they make New Year's resolutions. New year, new me. Child, you ain't changed. Neither did I. There is no new year, new us. There's just us. And we go through what we go through. And we survive. We will always get what we've always got if we always do what we've always done. There will be more episodes. This is the last one that will discuss my hometown that taught me one very important lesson for law enforcement. Never serve your hometown. It's an insurance policy, because the leadership, take a look at government as is. I'm not going to get into I'm not anti-government, I'm not anti-America, I'm not any of that stuff. I love the laws that we do have, I love the freedoms that we do have. I like the George Carlin thing of I love the freedoms we used to have, just the same. We have to stay slight left of center as a group, or chaos erupts. Because slight left of center is just advancement. And whether an individual here or there likes it, they got to realize we all do. Because if you're listening to this podcast, that is part of major advancement. The internet. And the internet is the voice of the people. The internet is the democratization of life itself, the democratization of the direction the world truly goes in. All the while, here in America, at least in DC, we have the big two that have basically come to their natural bottom. With that race to the bottom and the big two, and it's always this color and that color, red and blue, Biden and Trump. Folks, Donald Trump is older than Joe Biden was 4 years ago when his supporters were complaining about the age of Joe Biden. And obviously Joe Biden is even older still. The back and forth arguments of them and their sycophants in the Congress is destroying what is left of America. If they actually cared, and I'm not suggesting that every single one doesn't and blah blah blah. I'm saying the system is designed that way because it's just people, and people are imperfect. So no matter how well intended a leader may be, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and those who actually seek power want power. Those who seek service want to serve. The purpose of this podcast is to simply share with you tools, advice, wisdom, motivation, encouragement, inspiration, that you can pick what you want to take or leave, so that your life is as wonderful as you believe it to be, as wonderful as you tell people it is, and as wonderful as you've truly always wanted it to be. There are 8 billion brains on this planet. I am speaking to all of them. The change has arrived because it never left. The change is people. The change is humanity. The change is us. We are the problem. We are the solution. Welcome to the present, Clark County. Welcome to the future, everybody else. Namaste, humanity.